Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. So let's get right to the show I have for you guys today. Man, what a turn of events that we had in the sports world last night. First up, we start with the Lakers. Let's start with what I have here is the NFL draft. I mean, the draft goes as it should go. I do believe that the draft kind of went. There were some very interesting picks and swaps in last night's draft. I would have to say that. But at the same time, I do think that we had, for the most part, stuck with what we were supposed to get when it came to the draft. There were some crazy like I said, crazy turn of events that I did not think was going to happen. But it did. So we're going to be going over all 32 of the picks of the first round. We have round number 2 starting in about 3 hours and 12 minutes to be exact. So you should definitely check out round 2. We'll have more on that on Recap Monday. But for now, we're going to be going over the first 32 draft picks as well as their grades, what I would grade them, what they graded them, and a little snippets of what was happening around it. And then we're going to be going over the Lakers did it again. They faltered again against the Nuggets, who have their number. They are 0-11 against the Nuggets. They're going to try to take it one game at a time. We'll see what my thoughts are on that in a little bit. So let's get right to the draft. First up, just hold on right there, guys. I mean, your first reactions to the draft are like great. Like these college kids, these bona fide stars or about to be stars from college are going into the NFL. But it's great to see and hear some of the stories, how they got there. So that's what we're going with. I'm going live right now on TikTok, so you guys can definitely check that out as well on TikTok. Welcome to the show, guys. Whoever's on TikTok here, welcome to the show. We're going to be going over the NFL draft of last night, first round, and we're going to be going over the Lakers did it again. So let's get right to it. So first up in the draft, we had a bunch of things go different. So I know we should start in order, but we're actually not. We're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, they draft pick Ohio State wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., number 4 overall. And then you have Missouri defensive tackle Darius Robertson, number 27 overall. If I'm looking at this, I mean, you give Kyle Murray a bona fide superstar in wide receiver from college. I would think that is a great pick. If they pick anybody else other than Marvin Harrison Jr., you could maybe say Malik Neighbors from LSU, but I would say there's no way that you could pick anybody else but Marvin Harrison Jr., just barring the fact of just how good the kid is. As an Ohio State fan, I might be a little biased, but I do think that his pick kind of subsides what he is about. Now, with the first round pick, they gained last year's draft day trade with the Texans. Arizona grabbed Harrison, the son of Pro Football Hall of Famer Marvin Harrison, who has the potential to be a Randy Moss-type downfield threat at the next level. The Cardinals need exactly that sort of playmaker. He can box out smaller corners on in-cutting routes and use his outside body control on the sideline to pick up crucial third downs. Kyler Murray should appreciate having Harrison in place of a pivotal season, finding a powerful inside/outside pass rusher in Robertson late in the first round matched value and a high priority need for the Cardinals. Now, their grade, they gave them an A. I'm going to give them an A-. I think they did really well for the draft day one. I think they hit their top needs. Wide receiver, got Kyle Murray a number 1 target. And on top of that, you got a bona fide defensive tackle to help out that defense because that defense is atrocious for the Arizona Cardinals. Now we move to the next one, which is the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Sorry, TikTok, if I'm cursing, but I have no idea what the hell they are doing. You just signed Kirk Cousins to a massive contract this offseason. Why the hell are you grabbing Michael Penix Jr., number 8 overall? You want to try to help out Kirk Cousins. He's just coming off an Achilles injury. You got to give him help on the offensive side of the ball, which means you need to what? Get him an offensive lineman so he can be protected. Atlanta Falcons offensive lineman was one of the worst in the NFL last year. Now, Penix suffered a season-ending injuries in each of his 4 years at Indiana, but the pocket presence, strong arm, and accuracy he showed at Washington clearly captured the Falcons' imagination. Without the injury history, he might have been the second or third quarterback off the board, so it made sense to see Penix picked among the second tier of passers. It's confusing, though, that it was the Falcons who took Penix after giving Kirk Cousins a massive contract in the offseason. Why? Despite the veteran QB coming off an injury, add in the inherent risk that Penix's extensive health woes provide, and I think it's one of the riskier draft picks in recent memory. Like I said, I do believe that Michael Penix is great, can be great, but at the same time, I do think that Michael Penix is the real deal, but he just really needs to be taken by another team, not the Falcons who already have a quarterback. I just didn't think it made sense, but who knows? Now we move to Baltimore, where Baltimore, they picked up Clemson's defensive back, Nate Wiggins, at number 30 overall. I don't think that is a bad pick. I kind of like that pick without a doubt. I think they need to shore up the defensive back. But again, number 30 overall, he doesn't have to start right away. You could pick and choose where you want him to be put. Now, Wiggins' recovery speed stood out on tape and was confirmed with 4.28 second 40-yard dash at the NFL scouting combine. He's not a physical tackler, but is competitive at the catch point. Wiggins weighed just 173 pounds, measuring 6'1" and 3/8 inch at the combine, which is remnants of last year's lean first-round corner of Washington, Emmanuel Forbes, who struggled as a rookie. The Ravens passed on Kool-Aid McKinstry to pick Wiggins and did not address the offensive tackle position despite Rodney Stanley's injury history and the trade of Morgan Moss's. Now, again, I would probably give I forgot to give my grade for Atlanta. I would give Atlanta a D. I don't think that pick was good at all. Baltimore, I'll give them a C+. I think they should have shored up the offensive line a little bit to help out Lamar Jackson. So I'm good with that. Buffalo, I don't know. They didn't pick nothing. They dropped back in everything. So they weren't even in the first round. They had, I believe, a pick at 24. They dropped back, or 26. They dropped all the way out of the first round. So the Bills traded down twice on Thursday night. They swapped a fourth rounder for a third rounder and moved in the round 7, allowing the Chiefs to pick wide receiver Xavier Worthy, and then traded the Panthers 7th in exchange for a 6th to drop from the final pick of the first round to the first pick of the second. I understand the strategy. Given the draft's depth at wide receiver and lack of elite edge rushers, Buffalo might regret passing on Worthy if he helps Kansas City continue its reign. Worthy is one of the had the fastest 40-yard dash time in NFL history at the combine. He's basically like a Tyreek Hill. So Kansas City's got a bona fide star there. So I'm going to give them a C. But they're dropping back like that. I think they should have went with Xavier Worthy, stole it from Kansas City, especially the division rivals right there. So we'll see. Not division rivals, but their rivalry runs through because of the fact that they are so engaged in the offense, and when they're playing against each other, Buffalo and Kansas City, it is like a Super Bowl every game. It's a great game every time. So I think they should have went and stole Xavier Worthy from Kansas City, but again, I give Buffalo a C+, C-. Hey, what's up, Aiden? How you doing, bro? How you doing? Now we go to Carolina, where Carolina, I give them a C. Draft pick, South Carolina wide receiver Xavier Legette, number 32 overall. Yeah, I like Nate Wiggins. Just to jump off that, guys, on what we're talking on our show. Aiden, the Sports Talk with Aiden just joined my live, and he said that Nate Wiggins was such a good pick for the Ravens. I do agree, but I think they could have picked. A little bit of a to try to help out Lamar Jackson on the offensive line, especially with their one of their best offensive linemen, Ronnie Stanley's injury history, as well as the trade of Morgan Moses. I thought that they were going to go offensive, but again, getting a defensive back will help out. But their defense was stout last year, so I believe that they should have went offensive line. But again, I'm not a Ravens fan, and I'm not so crazy, but yeah. And then Aiden just said that they get the tackle today. But there was so many good tackles in the first round, which I thought they would go for it. But again, they got him at the third. I believe it was the 30th pick overall. Yeah, so I mean it's not bad. I do agree with Aiden there. Now Carolina, they went with Xavier Legette at number 32 overall, wide receiver out of South Carolina. I mean, Carolina, they have some really bad luck. They passed up on C.J. Stroud, and look how C.J. Stroud went. But I don't think they do well. So I'm gonna give them a C. I'm gonna keep them at C. User 276647, I believe. Jonas, you just told me you think do you think the Lakers blow it up this offseason? Well, right now I'm talking about the NFL draft, but I will function to that a little later on. Barring on how game 4 goes in LA will determine if they blow it all up. But I do think D'Lo is gone. I do think Christian would be gone. I do think LeBron and AD are going to question Rob Pelinka's choices on the roster. There's going to be a lot of problems this offseason. But I do think that they do blow it up in the facet of just changing different pieces. So if that's what you're saying, then yes, I do agree that they are going to blow it up. I don't think they're going to lose AD, LeBron, and all of this other thing. Not that blow up, but I think D'Lo and all the guys that have been like really screwing up in the playoffs. I think that's right. All right, now we go to the Bears, where I give them an A plus 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 plus. Now you might think I'm kind of being a little stupid by giving them an A plus plus, but they did what they were supposed to do. They got the right QB in Caleb Williams. My personal opinion is I think Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. I would take Drake May over Caleb Williams any day. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that Caleb Williams is going to be. Rayon, appreciate the like, my man. I really think Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. I don't know why. I hope not. I never want to put down anybody, but I think he is. I think they should have kept Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields in the Bears. I think they did him wrong. But they selected Caleb Williams number 1 overall. They also selected at number 9 spot Washington wide receiver Romo Aduzzi. He's really good. He helped Michael Penix Jr. I do believe this is a great core. I just not so sold on Caleb Williams, but we'll see. But Caleb Williams is going to be throwing to DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, the 9th overall pick, and Romo Oduzzi, whose all-around game outside allows him to create plays on quick throws and beat corners deep to stretch the field. It's a new offense era in Chicago. I will see. Or is it a new offense, or is it just a new just these different players that make it a new offense? I'm not so sold. But hey, who knows? The Bengals, I give them a C. They got Georgia offensive tackle Amarius Mims out of number 18 overall. I think they could have got a little bit better. I mean, he's 6'7", 3/4 inch, and 340 pounds. One of the few players able to match the size of Cincinnati starting left tackle Orlando Brown, which is 6'8", 345, and free agent acquisition of Trent Brown at 6'8", 355. So Joe Burrow is going to have protection this year. Hopefully, he stays up and not as banged up as he was. Now, Cleveland, I give them a F and D. Like, they deserve a D. They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. Cleveland sat out another first round due to Deshaun Watson trade. So the deal will continue to be questioned if Watson can regain the form he showed prior to sitting out the 2021 season and serving 11-game suspension in 2022. He showed some signs of turning things around early last season before an injury sidelined him for the rest of the year, but Watson needs to stay on the field long enough to lift the team to new heights. Correct. Now, my Cowboys, for the first time I think in a while, I could give my Cowboys an A. I like the pick. We went offensive tackle to help out Dak Prescott, keep him protected as our offensive line is getting older and older. We also did lose Tyron Smith. That's a great pickup. We got a man out Oklahoma, offensive tackle Taylor Gouton, number 29 overall. The Cowboys added a third-round pick from Detroit to move down 5 draft slots. Gouton's large frame of 6'7", 3/4 inch, 322 pounds, and length of 34 1/8 inch arm, making him an excellent fit with Dallas. While he protected left-handed quarterback Dylan Gabriel's blind side at right tackle for most of the past 2 seasons at Oklahoma, he played some left tackle and poses the agility to take over the departed longtime starter and future Hall of Famer Tyron Smith. It's hard to imagine a better scenario for Dallas. Finally, Jerry Jones did something right. Now, the Denver Broncos, I give them a C. They picked Oregon QB Bo Nix. Actually, no, screw that. They picked a C. I'll give them a B+. I think Bo Nix is going to do pretty well. I think Bo Nix is going to be suited for Sean Payton. I think he's going to like that. It's a young talent. He could go. They picked him number 12 overall. With the departure of Russell Wilson and the input of Zach Wilson, it's going to be a competition between Bo Nix and Zach Wilson, who's going to get that starting job next year. Head coach Sean Payton, quarterbacks coach David Webb probably like the young man's combination of efficiency play, competitive spirit, but it will be interesting to see if he has the game to warrant the 12th overall selection. I think he does. He's a little bit older, but I think he does. Detroit, I give them a B+. Alabama defensive back Teron Arnold, number 24 overall. The release of Cameron Sutton kept the cornerback position high at the team's need list. Therefore, it was no surprise that the Lions made a trade with the Cowboys to move up for Arnold, one of the best defenders in college football last season. So I will take that for the Lions. That's pretty good. Now, for the Green Bay Packers, I'm going to give them a B- on this one. NFL gave them a B. They picked up Arizona offensive tackle Jordan Morgan at a number 25 overall pick. I got Green Bay. I like Green Bay picking up an offensive tackle. That was great. Now, there was a little doubt for the Packers. They were looking for an offensive tackles early in the draft following the release of David Bakhtiari. Morgan's size and game are very similar to the former Pro Bowlers. We're not comparing them, but hey, it's pretty similar. So the pick is not a major surprise. I like it. It could have been a little bit better, but B- is not bad for a draft grade. Now the Texans just keep getting better. They added Stephon Diggs in the free agency, and now they got an. For me, I give them an A+ for what happened last night in draft number 1. In March, the Texans traded out of the first round, so they didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing in the draft, in draft 1. But this is why I give them an A. An A-. The Texans traded out of the first round, sending Minnesota the 23rd overall pick, dropping down to number 42 and receiving a 2025 second rounder as part of the deal. The value difference between 23rd and 42 second is not huge. So kudos to them for acquiring future draft capital. They sent their 2024 first round selection to Arizona to pick Will Anderson Jr. last year. Anderson won the Defensive Rookie of the Year award and looks to be a future star, but it will be interesting to track the success of the 3 premium picks used to select him 12th and 33rd overall last year, plus this year's first rounder. So the Colts, the NFL gave them a B+. I'm going to give them a B. They picked UCLA defensive end Latio Latua, number 15 overall. I don't think he's a bad pick. I just think that they could have did a little bit better, especially at that 15 slot. But again, he combines power to tackles into the backfield, the strong hands to descend for secondary rushes if the quarterback step up to avoid him, and the closing speed to chase down ball carriers. However, the potential risk based on the injury history is reflected in the grade. That's why I give him a B. They gave him a B+. Hey, we disagree. Jaguars, I give them an A. They needed some help at the wide receiver position for Trevor Lawrence. They picked up LSU's wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., number 23 overall. I like that pickup without a doubt. The Jaguars smartly traded down 6 spots in the first round to gain a middle round pick this year and 2 in 2025. They have selected Thomas at number 17 if they stayed along with using his speed and length to separate downfield. He can also adjust to underthrown balls. Calvin Ridley departed in free agency. Christian Kirk is coming off an injury, and Zay Jones is a 2025 free agent, so Trevor Lawrence should be thrilled with this pick. And that's why I gave them, I believe I gave them an A. Yeah, I stuck with the A. Now, Kansas City, on the other hand, I give them an A+. I think they basically upgraded from what they had last year 10 times by picking Xavier Worthy, Texas wide receiver at number 28 overall. He is basically Tyreek Hill, a rookie Tyreek Hill in the flesh. He ran the fastest 40-yard dash in NFL Combine history with a 4.21. I think he's certainly lean, 5'11", 1/4 inch, 165, but he's not significantly smaller than the Eagles wide receiver Devontae Smith, who's 6 foot, 170. Worthy brings the potential to produce chunk plays, which was need for the defending champions. So I believe Kansas City got much better this in draft day 1. Now, Vegas, I give them an A. They got Georgia tight end Brock Bowers, number 13 overall. Some people gave them a C. I don't know where the hell they were talking about. I gave Brock Bowers. Vegas needs something consistent with Darren Waller not there anymore, and he was never consistent because he was always injured. So I'll take Brock Bowers if I'm a Raiders fan. I think that's a great pick. This man has been falls between the George Kittle and Travis Kelce tight end scale. I mean, if you're getting compared to those two and haven't even played it down in the NFL, then you're doing something right. The Chargers, I'm gonna give them an A. They got a B+ from the NFL. I got them with an A. I do think that they got a Notre Dame offensive tackle, Joe Alt, number 5 overall. I think he was probably, if not the best offensive tackle in the draft. Alt cuts the figure of prototypical left tackle with a 6 foot 8, 5'8", and 321 pounds with a 34 1/4 inch arms and an excellent agility, registering a 7.31 second 3 cone at the combine. Again, he'll be a long-time starter for the Chargers team, seeking physicality up front, but they did miss out on a chance to add an impact wide receiver by passing up Malik Neighbors, Romeo Oduza. The draft's wide receiver depth may have influenced their decision to not replace departed veteran receivers Keenan Allen and Mike Williams on Thursday. I do think they were smart. I mean, if they would have picked up Romeo Oduza or Malik Neighbors, that would have been something. But I think you got to go offensive line, especially with Justin Herbert. Got to keep him healthy. Got to keep him protected. He was one of the worst when it came to being protected. He got hit so many times last year, so many sacks. So it was great that they picked offensive. You got the Rams. I give them an A. They got Florida State defensive end Jared Verse, number 19 overall. I think Florida State looked plenty agile last season and has the power and relentlessness to accumulate sacks on primary and secondary moves. His strength in the run game should not be overlooked either. I do think that's a great pickup for the Rams, especially with the departure of Aaron Donald of retirement. They need another defensive end in there, and I think that's a suitable pick at 19. Miami, I give them a C+. NFL gave them a B. They got Penn State linebacker Chop Robertson at number 21 overall. The Dolphins needed to add more edge rushers even after signing Shaq Barrett in free agency, as both Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb are working their way back from season-ending injuries. But, man, ladies and gentlemen, what a linebacking core. You got Shaq Barrett, Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and now you add linebacker out of Penn State, Chop Robertson. That is one hell of a linebacking core. So they're going to Miami on defense on the linebacking position is going to be great. Minnesota, I give them an A-. I think they did phenomenal. They got number 10 overall. They got picked J.J. McCarthy. I think that is a great pick. You have T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, J.J. McCarthy, Jordan Madison, as well as Justin Jefferson. And then you added Alabama linebacker Dallas Turner, number 17 overall. I think they did amazing. I'm actually not going to put them at A-. I'm going to put them at an A++. I think they did great in this pick. Now, New England, I give them an A-. They picked up I'm going to go with an A. I'm going to go with an A. NFL had them in an A minus. I was gonna pair with them, but I'm gonna go with an A. I think having the draft capital and draft pick of North Carolina QB Drake May and number 3 overall, I think says wonders. May poses as a physical characteristic to be an outstanding NFL quarterback. He must make sure his mind, feet, and arm are working in a tandem on every throw. The Patriots will need to add more talent around him to ensure his success. And that is the problem. They need to add talent. They add talent. This team is going to be really good next year with Drake May at the helm, but we will see how well they get and how well they do. Remember, Bill Belichick is not there anymore, so you don't have to worry about him not taking wide receivers. So that's that. Now, the Saints, I give them an A minus. I'm going to stick with the NFL. I agree with them. They got Oregon State offensive tackle Talise Fuga and number 14 overall. I think with he has an average arm length of 33 1/8 inch and athleticism, but he's a tone setter who has a chance to become a long-term starter in the league. Now, the Giants, I'm going to be nice to the Giants, and I give them an A. I think they could have went quarterback, but I think they're still believing in Daniel Jones. And how do you believe with Daniel Jones without getting them a wide receiver? They picked him number 6 overall from LSU, wide receiver Malik Neighbors. That is a great pickup for the Giants. I hate it, but that's a great pickup. They haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since Odell Beckham Jr., so they are desperately in need of a wide receiver. So I'm good with it. Now, if Neighbors proves agile enough to win against NFL cornerbacks at the top of the route, then he could become one of the league's best wide receivers in time. The question down the line, though, might be whether the Giants would have been better off selecting J.J. McCarthy at number 6 and very good wide receiver on day 2 instead. Now, I like you take the wide receiver, bona fide wide receiver. You know he's going to prepare. J.J. McCarthy, you'll see, depends on the system, depends on the pieces around him. Right now, Daniel Jones knows the system. J.J. does not. You put him in there in the Dogs of New York, it's going to be a problem for them. For J.J. McCarthy. Now, if you move on from that, we will go to the Jets. The Jets did some good things. They picked up Penn State offensive tackle Lumina Fasciato. I can't even pronounce it, so my bad if I'm pronouncing that really wrong. Number 11 overall. I think this is great. I give them a B+ by picking an offensive tackle to shore up the offensive line for Aaron Rodgers coming off that Achilles injury. They need help on that offensive line to help him and keep him healthy and ready to go next season. Now, in all, he should have some time to develop behind the veterans, but his game is raw, and the Jets could have gone with tackle Talise Fuga or tight end Brock Bowers, both of whom are ready to play now. If that's the case, I don't know why they didn't go. Again, even with signing Tyron Smith and trading for Morgan Mosses, that is all right. You get a younger guy that can learn from the vets, but man, if you would have got Brock Bowers with freaking Aaron Rodgers, holy shit, ladies and gentlemen, that would have been something. I thought they were going there, so that's why I'll give them a B+, but I think that they could have went and got Brock Bowers. They got Brock Bowers, that's an A++ for them. Now, Philly, I give them an A-. NFL gave them an A. Bro, they picked the best defensive back in the draft. Out of Toledo State, defensive back Quinion Mitchell, number 22 overall. Like, what the hell, man? Like, the Eagles just keep getting great defensive players. Great. And the Cowboys over here, they did a good one. They got a good one. They got a good offensive tackle. But, man, it just always seems that the Eagles are getting great players. Now, for once, GM Howie Roseman did not need to make a move upwards to begin great value at a position of need. Mitchell's ability to run a 4.33 at 40 at the combine at 6 foot and 195 pounds locked his spot in the first round. His 6 interceptions and 46 pass breakups during his time at Toledo showed his closing speed and ability to play the ball, as did his work against top receivers at the Senior Bowl. Mitchell often played off in college, and he has the strength and quickness to play man and showed the acumen to come off the edge as a blitzer. What a find for the Eagles, who bring more talent to the cornerback position. Again, Eagles did what they had to do. Congrats to the Eagles, but man, like Jesus, you couldn't have somebody couldn't have got him, not the Eagles. Now, the Steelers, I give them an A. I give them an A because they picked up Washington's offensive tackle Troy Fortuna, number 20 overall pick, to help out Russell Wilson. I think this is great. Also, as if Russell Wilson plays like shit, to help out Justin Fields. This is great. Now, with Fatua's stock may have dropped a bit due to a reported knee issue, but the Steelers smartly found value in the stud lineman who joins last year's first round, Broderick Jones, up from to protect new quarterbacks Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Now we move to the San Francisco 49ers, where I give them a B+. They got with the uncertainty of Brandon Ayuk, they picked wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, number 31 overall, last night in the draft. The uncertainty around, like I just said, Brandon Ayuk likely led to the selection of Pearsall, whose silky smooth routes and solid hands were evident with the Gators and at the Senior Bowl. Florida's very average passing attack didn't help his cause, though. He had an amazing one-handed grab for Charlotte, but he has the game to be a solid NFL starter. He has a little bit of a game of a Brandon Ayuk. I'm not comparing it to him, but he has a little bit of some game like Brandon Ayuk. Now, you look at the Seattle Seahawks, I give them an A. Texas defensive tackle Brian Murphy, the second, number 16 overall. One of the league's surprising picks in the first round was Murphy to the Seahawks. His skills as a runner, stuffer, and interior pressure machine were worthy of a pick in the top half of the first round, and something Seattle needed in its front four. His 6'1" 1.5 inch, 297-pound frame believes how well he plays under the pads of an offensive lineman, and his quick first step make him tough to handle one-on-one, especially on reach blocks. Similar size tackles like Ed Oliver and Kalaji Kansi shows you don't have to be a huge to be a top-notch lineman. So I got Seattle get A. Now we got three more. Tampa Bay, I give them an A. They got Duke center Graham Barton, number 26 overall, to help out Baker Mayfield, so I give them an A. Tennessee Titans, I also going to give them a B+. They got Alabama offensive tackle J.C. Lampton, number 7 overall. I like that pick. And then at A as well, I'm going to go Washington Commanders. I'm going to actually go A++ for the Washington Commanders, even though I hate their guts. But, man, they picked LSU corner QB Jaden Daniels, number 2 overall. This guy's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be the best QB in his draft class, better than Caleb Williams, better than Drake May, and better than J.J. McCarthy. That's just my thinking. I think Jaden Daniels is the real deal, and to me, I think he could have went number 1 overall pick over Caleb Williams. But hey, I don't know nothing. What do I know? Nah, I guess nothing. But we move from there. We are currently 32 minutes into our show. We are going to end with the Lakers falling again, ladies and gentlemen. They did it again. I mean, it just does not look any type of anything good with the Lakers right now. Having just logged the 285th playoff game of his career, clearing the entire Denver Nuggets starting five combined for 275, Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James spoke from plenty of experience when he detailed what it takes to thrive in the postseason after Thursday night's 112-105 Game 3 loss. You're supposed to have an anxiety and pressure or feel the pressure, James said after Denver went up 3-0 in the first round series. One win away from sweeping LA into a summer for a second straight year. That's what it's about. This is what the postseason is about. With Anthony Davis to his right, James endorsed his and the Lakers center ability to perform when the games matter most. The pair combined for 59 points last night. James finished with 26 on 12 for 20 shooting, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists, while Davis led LA with 33 points, 14 of 23 shooting, and 15 boards. What can you ask more for LeBron James and Anthony Davis? I don't understand. I really do not. Now, he didn't say the same for the rest of the Lakers, who were outplayed by Denver's team that had 2 players, Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr., each topped the 20-point plateau to back stars. Nikola Jokic's 29 points, 15 rebounds. Jamal Murray's 22 points and 9 assists. As well, Michael Porter Jr. had 22 with 20, and then Aaron Gordon had 29. I mean, Aaron Gordon and freaking Nikola Jokic combined for 62 points. Aaron Gordon is not supposed to score 29 points. Like, what is this? What is this? I don't get it. Now, asked if the Lakers were overwhelmed by the Nuggets' level of execution, James said, you'd have to ask the individuals that question and see how they feel. It's hard for me to just be like, yeah, this is what I think the guy's feeling. I can't do that. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know. No one was able to ask Lakers point guard D'Angelo Russell that question after going scoreless in Game 3 on 0 for 7 shooting and 0 for 6 from 3. Like, what the flying F are you doing? You go from dropping 25 points in Game 2, dropping an abysmal 12 points in Game 1, where you shot terrible from the field, and then you go in here and you go back to LA. This is supposed to be your time to shine, and you get a lousy goose egg. 0 points on 0 for 7. That is just remarkably terrible. Remarkably terrible. It's just awful. It's just awful. It's just awful. It's just awful. Now, me and this guy, Davis, said Me and this guy, which is Davis, have been playing together for 6 years. James continued. We've been to the mountaintop. We've been close to the mountaintop. We've played a lot of games. We know what it takes to win. We know what it takes to win a championship and how damn near perfect you got to be. That's not like something that's so crazy to obtain. It seems somewhat impossible for Lakers against the Nuggets. However, they've lost 11 straight games against Denver, the fifth longest active streak by any franchise against a team. And the four teams ahead of the Lakers on that list are Detroit, Houston, Charlotte, and Portland haven't been remotely close to a championship in recent years. Like, really? Like, seriously? Like, that's what we're going with, bro? We're going to compare it to those freaking ass teams? It's just terrible. Now, Denver wasn't untouchable in Game 3. LA opened up with an 8-0 lead, causing the Nuggets to call timeout just a minute 50 seconds off the tip-off with the roof ready to blow off the building from the hometown fans. And just like that, the 12-point advantage the Lakers built in Game 1 and the 20-point lead they had in Game 2, they led by as many as 12 on Thursday night. And then came on the third quarter where Denver outscored them 34-22. The Nuggets have now outscored LA by 31 in the third quarters. Through 3 games. In 9 of the other quarters, the Lakers have outscored the Nuggets by 11. Our third quarter has been atrocious, said guard Austin Reeves, the only Laker player to score in double digits besides James and Davis, but with 10 of his 22 points coming late in the fourth quarter after the Nuggets had taken control. While sullen expressions the Lakers bench and coaching staff late in the game suggested the series is all but over, there is still another home game for LA to host Saturday in Game 4. Well, we'll see if we actually have some grit and have some passion to do something. But it ain't looking too good, ladies and gentlemen, for my Lakers and LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Am I going to give up hope? No, because you have LeBron James has come back from a 3-1 deficit and was the first time in NBA history that anyone has done that. So can it be done? Yes. Has it ever been done? No. So will LeBron be the first to come back from a 3-0 deficit and beat the defending champs and then probably the team that's going to go back-to-back in the Denver Nuggets? Time will tell. We'll see tomorrow night, Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe, on ABC. We will see that game. I'll catch you guys there. Peace out, guys. Have a great rest of your Friday afternoon and enjoy your weekend. I'll see you guys here on our YouTube show on Recap Monday, which will be Season 3, Episode 12. Catching me there. Also, this is going to be posted on our Apple Podcasts and Spotify as an audio version, so go check that out if you missed it. Appreciate all the people that have liked my show here today. Appreciate all the people that are listening here on my live, on TikTok Live. And as always, thank you again to all my supporters on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram. Appreciate all the help and all the joy. Love you all. Catch you guys on Monday. Peace out, guys. Enjoy your rest of your weekend. Enjoy the playoffs for the NHL and NBA. Enjoy the rest of the NFL draft. Peace out, guys. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, here on the Fire Sports Pod. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.